Speaker, Canadians are clear on the two most important economic issues we face: inflation and high interest rates. And they understand that government deficits cause inflation. Runaway deficits cause runaway inflation. This year's deficit is expected to be $47 billion, $7 billion higher than forecast. To say this is a runaway is an understatement. The Bank of Canada governor has been clear. Deficits are the main factor keeping interest rates high. Will the Prime Minister cap his runaway spending with a dollar-for-dollar rule to bring down interest rates and inflation?
Hear, hear. Hear. The Honourable Minister of Natural Resources.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is important that a responsible government addresses issues around affordability. It addresses issues around environmental sustainability. It invests in growing a clean economy, and it has a sound fiscal management strategy. We are doing all of those things. On the other side of this House, we have a Conservative Party of Canada who simply wants to cut and to cut and to cut. They will cut affordable childcare. They will cut dental care. They will cut the National School Food Program. They will cut the entire climate program. They will actually cut investments in growing a clean economy for the future. My goodness, it's such an irresponsible position that these folks are taking.
The Honourable Member for Calgary Centre.
Mr. Speaker, this government is just throwing taxpayer money at a wall without any thought about execution, and it's making matters worse for Canadians. It's a whack-a-mole approach to economic policy. Obviously, after 8 years of this NDP-Liberal government, Canadians can't afford this Prime Minister, his excess spending, nor his corruption. Scotiabank says that rate cuts could be delayed by high government spending. Wow. Next week, the Minister of Finance will table her budget. It is time for the deficits to stop. Will the Minister commit to a dollar-for-dollar reduction in order to bring inflation and interest rates under control?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister of Natural Revenue.
Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we will always be there to support Canadians, especially vulnerable Canadians, while maintaining a prudent fiscal position, including a AAA credit rating, Mr. Speaker, and the lowest debt-to-GDP ratio in the G7. We've been there for seniors with increases in the GIS and the OAS. We are there for school children with a national school food program. We are there for millennials and Gen Z with affordable housing and rental accommodation. Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we know how to do prudence as well as providing for the most vulnerable in this country. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Charleswood, St. James, Assiniboia, Headingley.
You know what's keeping interest rates so high, Mr. Speaker? Liberal deficit spending. That's what. Yes. Now we can add Scotiabank to the long list of economists saying after 8 years, this NDP Liberal government is not worth the cost. Record high deficits are keeping housing, food and fuel at record high prices. Will the Prime Minister fix the budget and adopt our common sense Conservative policy by bringing in a dollar-for-dollar rule to bring down inflation and interest rates?
The Honourable Minister of the Treasury Board.
Mr. Speaker, unlike the party opposite, we actually know the role of the Independent Bank of Canada, which is to set monetary policy. While we are prudently managing taxpayer dollars, we will continue to invest in Canadians. Because of our policies, 86% of women between the ages of 25 and 45 are in the workforce. That's the Canada Child Benefit, and that's $10 a day childcare. Every single time the party opposite has an opportunity to support Canadians, they vote against, Mr. Speaker. That's not common sense at all.